Welcome back. An Ottawa-based organization is filling the skilled trade gap while offering free training to former military personnel and their families. Jeff Musson is Executive Director of Coding for Veterans. Jeff, thanks for being with us.
Hey, great to be here.
So tell me how Coding for Veterans came to be. What's the kind of idea behind the organization?
Yeah, so Coding for Veterans helps military veterans retrain for jobs in software development and cybersecurity, and the program is delivered 100% online through the University of Ottawa. And in Canada, there's over 150,000 IT jobs projected to go unfilled in the next 12 to 18 months. So, what better way to honor and, the sacrifice of men and women in Canada's military than providing them careers in a stable environment in the IT sector?
I mean, obviously, one of the really appealing things about this is that there's also another need there, and that is helping to place former military who sometimes, amazingly, find it hard to see their experiences and their values in the military recognized in the private sector. Can you bring that piece of it along with the training in this new skill that helps them kind of double up so they're not just skilled in this technology, but their own experience is also recognized?
Yeah, absolutely. And part of that is educating companies of the value that people in the military bring to an organization. Things like leadership, attention to detail, and really teamwork. And with our program, students write their industry certifications in cyber and in software development. And, Canada's big banks hire graduates from our program, defense contractors, multinational corporations like IBM and Amazon. And so for us, we really want to help get word out to companies of why they should be hiring veterans as part of their hiring strategy.
And so what kind of uptake have you had, first of all, from the military personnel? And am I right to say that it's extended to their loved ones as well, that this is a broader pool?
Yeah, so the program launched 5 years ago, and we started with 5 students. I'm happy to say as of January right now, we've had over 800 that have enrolled in the program. And for the graduates, there's over an 85% placement rate. And yes, our program is not only targeted towards veterans, but military reservists, spouses, and family members as well. And what's interesting is for veterans, 100% of their tuition is covered if they qualify through Veterans Affairs and their education funding. But then we've also had the province of Ontario, which has come to the table, and they have provided tuition funding for those family members and reservists.
And how many of those, roughly speaking, wind up finding employment thanks to Coding for Veterans? Do you know?
Yeah, so it's been in the hundreds. And like I said, currently every year we end up having anywhere between 200 and 250 people enroll in the program. And like I said, in the past 5 years, we're now over 800. And over 85% of those people end up finding jobs. And these are good quality paying jobs. And what better way to support people when they leave the military than providing them and their families with stable careers.
So good to have you for this, Jeff. Really appreciate your time today.
Thanks.
Jeff Musson is Executive Director of Coding for Veterans. Time for the takeaway and what Team Canada really means. It's been a busy period for Canada's premiers with a whole lot of uncertainty about what might come our way after Donald Trump takes oath of office next week. Some premiers have been extremely active trying to get in front of possible tariffs. And it's all good fun if all that entails is Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith attending a Mar-a-Lago cocktail do. But instead of working together with United Front about how Canada will handle unwelcome and frankly illegal tariffs, the divisions between provinces are also being aired publicly. That Ontario is focused heavily on manufacturing, and especially autos and mining, is not shocking. Alberta is quite rightly preoccupied with the health of oil and gas. So when one province suggests using another province's primary resource as the cudgel to beat a new Trump administration over the head, it's unsurprising that we don't find agreement. But rather than spar off in the media, we would be better served if Canada's political leaders, provincial and federal, really took a Team Canada approach and set their differences aside in order to combat the prospect of a real trade war. That doesn't just mean tariffs that might be imposed on us, but would include tariffs that Trump might impose on China, which would have a knock-on effect on the global economy. Now is the time to remember why free trade is the right path and be champions for it. Canada can't afford to adopt the view that trade should only be as free as works for us. The point is that free trade works best for everyone. Should it have limits? Yes, and here domestic policy will always come to bear. But if we abandon our central thesis that we are free traders and our agreements are to be upheld, we'll have invited ourselves to a Wild West where we are sorely outgunned. My takeaway? It's one thing to talk quietly about how to respond to possible scenarios. It's another to abandon our free trade values as an argument in favor of free trade. That's Taking Stock for this week. I'm Amanda Lang. Thanks for being with us.